All right, hello. Welcome to the show. Thank you guys for tuning in every week. I do appreciate it, and for leaving comments, likes, subscribes, all of that good jazz. I really appreciate it. This week, this video is brought to us by TKD Vault. They have a lot. They're able to get a lot of good clips, and they have a lot of good fights in their video playlist. So I definitely recommend you guys giving them a good check out when you can. This week we're covering Muhammad Cho, who is the Great British Olympian, against ATESLI, who I first saw actually kicking Kyung Dun in the face in the Grand Prix. And yeah, Kyung Dun did a really light cut against him, and ATESLI just kind of took the cut and was like, okay, well, this is a left leg to your face, and he hit him in the face. ATESLI ends up winning the whole U.S. Open against Jonathan Healy. I got to watch this guy in action. He's very good. He won Junior Worlds and moved right into seniors and fit right in. On a side note, you can actually see me in the back here. That is indeed my hat, and I'm sitting next to a couple other people from Northern California. I don't know if they want me mentioned or not, but that is me wearing this exact hat in the background over there. Um, so yeah, I got to watch a little bit of this from across the arena. Uh, Things to watch out for. I really liked watching this game because it's kind of Taekwondo, is a little bit like poker, wherein you can make all the right decisions, and in the end, just because of a little bit of a stroke of luck, the opponent can end up winning. But does it mean that you need to change your whole game plan? Maybe not. Maybe it just means you need to cover a little bit more or do something of that sort. In this situation, we're going to see one of the players make a lot of really good decisions all the way to the end, I would argue, and it's at the very end. The winning player gets kind of, in my opinion, kind of a lucky shot and takes the game. Um, and I think that it's a good example of how it may you like your game plan just because you won the game doesn't necessarily mean it's a good game plan. It's And if you lose a game, doesn't mean that you need to switch your whole game plan. Maybe it's just plugging one or two small holes. This game's a lot about how what I like to see was a lot of good decision making on both players' parts, and um, I'm trying to figure out how to put this. Like a lot of good decision making on both players' parts, and even if you make all the good decisions and you slip up once at the end, sometimes the game can get away from you. So this is one of those examples. Unfortunately, this clip, this is only copy of the fight I was able to watch or able to find, and they're a minute 10 seconds into the first round. I'm not sure how the 6-4 came about, but that's what it is now, and we'll break it down and watch it from there. Previous information that I know Tesley has this monster left leg. He uses this a lot in his offense, both left and right. Or I mean, not left and right. I mean front leg and back. So whether it's in the front, whether it's in the back, this left leg of his is deadly. Muhammad Cho has this right leg to the face, as well as some old school doubles. Well versed in both legs. He has a back leg as well. But the sneakiest one I've seen was this right leg to the face, like op ball. He's able to reach that. Um, that's all the information I know going in before watching this fight, and I was able to watch and enjoy a lot of really good decision making and strategic tactical decisions that helped these players get points both sides. Both these guys are really amazingly fast too, especially for heavies. Good. Small note, immediately so Cho lost a lot of ground here on this attack. Lost a lot of ground. Immediately starts trying to creep back in because he can't afford a second. If that happens once, Cho is back here. If that happens the second time, he's in the corner now. That's a really bad situation. So immediately Cho starts inching forward again to try and take back some of the distance, just in case Turkey throws another attack like that. So small things, small little wins in the game add up to bigger wins. That was a back leg to the head. Cho attempted there. Nice try. Very respectful of this left leg to the face too. That was very close as well. So yeah, still just More stuff to watch out for. Notice interesting too. I was just going to comment that while there is offensive pressure, it's not as much or as frequent as Daehun's. So even though Mahatma Cho here is pressuring, it's not as pressuring as when Daehun pressures, because when Daehun pressures, when he gets into distance, or if you don't kick for 2 or 3 seconds, as we can see here, like 5 or 6 seconds elapse. If you don't kick within 2 or 3 seconds, Daehun will force you to kick, or Daehun will kick, creating even more offensive pressure. Heavyweights, for whatever reason, I think it's just because we have bigger bodies. Moving takes more resources. Maybe I think the game isn't as pressuring. But in the future, I think that if you guys are going to copy this kind of game plan, something to do is to continuously inch forward. I think what Cho is watching out for, though, is he doesn't yet know the full extent of the range of uh, Turkey's left leg, and that's why he's being cautious about it. But if you were to pressure, if they aren't reacting on your inching forward like this, if they aren't giving ground, then you're not putting enough pressure on. That could be you need to do more sudden footwork. You don't need to slide in more necessarily. Maybe more sudden footwork. Maybe poke at them a little bit more. But as you can see, as Cho moves forward, Turkey is not phased by it at all until a point until he gets too close, and then he forces Turkey to go. Well, that was a crazy front leg combo. Wow. So if you guys didn't catch that, Turkey has a really good control of his leg here. So he cuts. Oh, this is in slow motion. Cho swipes and moves it. Usually after your foot gets swiped, you're off balance, and that's what Cho's waiting for. He caught the leg. He caught the leg, and the leg's moving in this direction. Cho is expecting that, and that's why he's bringing his front leg up to try and score while Turkey's off balance. Turkey just pulls the leg back under control here. I'm gonna try and get rid of this stuff. Pulls the leg back under control here, and is about to shoot it out again. Like, this guy's front leg control is ridiculous. Imagine getting your leg swiped like that and then pulling it back and shooting it a second time. That's pretty crazy, man. That's some next level leg control. Ooh, wow, both sides. So you can't. Another thing to note now, Cho knows that one, the swipe is probably not going to be effective at this guy, at least sideways. You may be able to cancel it from on top, but sideways swipe, this guy is still has been trained for that and is ready to pull it back and shoot it at you a second time if you like if you side swipe him. Second, he's able to pull his left leg back. Um, he's able to pull his left leg back and fire it a second time. Exchange one. Hoojin got his left leg back, able to shoot a second time. Cho is really not expecting that, and a lot of granted, not many people are gonna say like that. Usually when people get set with their left leg back, something coming from the front, either an op ball or another back leg. Very few people are gonna put it in the back and then throw a back kick out of there. That's also kind of unorthodox. It's not in the normal bell curve of techniques that would happen after an exchange. So Cho knows one, you can't sideswipe. Two, you can't over pursue. So he's gonna have to fight this guy just after his front leg is used, but not so far as to if he's retreating 2 or 3 times, because that's when the back kick's gonna come out. Can you use that information to trap him later? Yeah, maybe. So that one, Tesla got it because as Cho's moving forward, Tesla would keep distance but move back. And then as Cho gave ground, he would give ground. Because Cho's the initiator, that's why it went to ATESLI for the a gum dung. Both players probably content here just to wait it out, and it's true. Second round. Keep in mind, all of ATESLI's weapons have been from his left. Cho, it seems like, has been trying to poke a hole or find the weak spot in ATESLI this whole time. and simultaneously has been gathering information. Good cut. It's sometimes good to cut just to see if they were planning to like if they were planning to go off the line as well against you, you would clash. And usually, if sometimes if you cut, you get to see kind of a reveal of what the coach talked about. So it's like if he cut, you do this because he threw the cut so suddenly he might jump and be like, oh what? Oh, that was it, and now then if that happened, Cho would know that that was the adjustment. But Tesley didn't give up any information, and so the match just continues as so on and so forth. Nice. He did that also because Tesley doesn't seem to go back that much, like very often. So the save axe kick here was in case Tesley did move in, he would have ran right into it. Nice adjustment. So what we kind of see here too was we know Tesley's front leg is a primary weapon. He wants to make sure Cho wants to make sure there's no he doesn't know what was adjusted for, he doesn't know what was scouted, but he needs this front leg to come up. So he did a cut, Tesley uses a front leg. He skip X, Tesley does front leg. Here he scores because he knows that Tesley's going to use the front leg. So instead of trying to swipe at it, he can't he does like when I was talking about the punch where you do the second variation where or no the third variation where you cancel and you punch on top. He goes okay, well let's just clash your front leg so it's not in use, and then I'll get inside, and that's how he scores his first point. So it looks like GBR's whole game plan now is to just cancel that front leg or occupy his left leg somehow, and then follow up and score after. As you can see here, it pays off. Tesla's a pretty tall dude. Granted, Cho isn't that tall, but he's pretty big. Nice try. Nice try right out of the blitz too. Most people aren't usually ready. Cho hoping for and got the second point right away. He slid in and went. Most people at that distance might just stand there and brace themselves. For some reason, Turkey's initial reactions to Hujin. Cho's able to get a point, but falls over. Still a +1 for him, so pretty good exchange. Ooh, nice try. So something also is as soon as Cho initiates his third time, good. Well, one he's down until Atesli is down, so he's trying to get points. But two, I was gonna say he's gonna bring offensive pressure, but it doesn't look like he's gonna do that because so far Cho's been dictating the match, and he's been bringing the offensive pressure, and he's dictating when the exchanges happen. Cho just coming out of juniors, I'm not sure if he is comfortable doing that yet against Cho, given Cho's like credentials and background. Ideally, he would be, but it is what it is right now. Good. So now he is kind of matching Cho on the line. Oh, that was super close. I want to watch this in slow motion because that if that had hit someone, that's one of the Koreans was famous for this. Very close. Oh, that was just I thought it was a body flick to the face. That was just straight to the face. Like if Turkey didn't move back at all, that would have just smacked him in the dome. Um, Good answer. Kicking low. Okay, maybe kicking low. Oh, very nice. So right now they're playing off the line. Um, Cho is expecting Atesli to come in. Atesli keeping his cool. Slide back a little bit. Now, what's interesting about Atesli's defense is his defense isn't an in-place cut really, or an in-place front leg. It's a slight slide back and then front leg, and that forces this person to make the choice. So sometimes he does do it in place, sometimes he doesn't. So this person who's here has to try and guess whether or not he should kick Atesli where he is now, or if he has to do footwork and kick where ATESLI is the second time. But that gives ATESLI kind of a 50-50 shot to catch him either short or right off the line. Because if he slides first and Tesla goes off the line, you get tagged. If you kick short and Tesla scoots back, Tesla also still has a pretty good chance to get you. So it seems like Muhammad's kicking short a lot because most people will fight in place. A Tesla for some reason, maybe it's training, maybe they realize it was good, maybe it's just his habit, is to actually slide back or lean back just a little bit when he is doing his defense and not stand directly in place, as most people do. Yeah, there's another example of it. Him sliding back just barely. Yeah, it's really weird. He leaves his front leg, he steps his back leg back, and his front leg will lift from there. And that moves the center of gravity a little bit further back, maybe just out of range. It's very interesting. You scored on that. Nice. On that backside on the follow up. Oh wow. Inside the clinch. Got it. So that's what I was talking about. Tesla's also trained enough to where if someone over pursues, he throws out leg and back kicks automatically. Um, very interesting thing to pick up. Also, very new. Cho, very good occupying Tesla's front leg, blitzing off the line to make sure it's close or unable to kick strongly enough to score, and is willing to follow up. So same game plan, same game plan. It's just from the over pursuit, that's where Tesley's able to get his left leg in the back and um, very quickly and then back kick from there. I think we're watching someone. Forgot who it was. I think someone's going right over here. Going for the 2 points. Nice. Um, I went over this in one of my sparring classes. Watch Cho's feet because he knows he. Okay, so part of the thing is he knows a Tesla moves back just a little bit, which means when Cho launches his attack, he has to move forward just a little bit, like just off the line. Watch his feet. So he gets into distance, moves that front foot, gets into distance. So first he tests it. Like this is kind of going back to like old school distance trapping. Moves the front leg, nothing happens. Moves the front leg and back leg, still nothing happens. Like Joe's like, all right, if you go for me in this distance, he's prepared to move back. He goes into the distance a second time, still no reaction from Turkey. Safe to go in, or at least try to go for it. That's something you guys can do. You test where your opponent's comfortable, where they're gonna fire, and kind of keep encroaching on that distance to make them like, is he gonna be there when I kick, or is he not? Is he just inching in, or is he not gonna be there? And so for you guys, it's a small tactic you guys can take home with you is inching forward, like inching your front foot forward to see if it's safe, and then taking it out. And if he doesn't move, if you move your back leg up, you've like officially taken that distance. And then if you're trying to set up for something, keep playing with that distance on the line. And then Cho's able to do like Cho figured out like, well, if I move in, he doesn't move. If I move in with both legs, does he move? No. What about a second time? Nope. And then off the line. So a small tactic you guys can take home with you. Kind of get into distance game. A little bit more poking. Ooh, careful. I think this is the debate. Oh, well, sorry, I missed a lot of the fight, guys. This guy's front leg is crazy, over and back. Now, this poses an interesting dilemma now, or an interesting situation, because um, ATESLI has not fought with this leg back yet the whole match. The only thing we have on information wise from Cho perspective from this leg being back is there's going to be a back kick coming. So usually when the fighter changes stance, it's like having to start a fight over because you don't really know what they're sitting on with that leg back. All we know right now is ATESLI has the back kick. Knowing he has the back kick, this, I didn't watch this to like be like, oh, we should predict what's gonna happen. It'll look cool. Knowing he has the back kick on this side, it's kind of stupid for you to attack the open side because that's where the back kick's gonna come from. Does that make sense? Knowing that's the information we have, Cho goes to the backside because you can't really back kick the backside against the backside attack. You're just gonna, hit in the air. Um, so thanks for making me look good, man. Still trying, and then sure enough, he waited for the attack to come in and tried for the back kick. That's what I was talking about with the over pursuit. If a Tesla feels like you're committing too much, he'll back kick. Um, Actually, Cho, this is very close. I feel like this is a very good adjustment by Cho to try and blitz on the back kick and fall up to the head. Most times that's gonna work out for you. Like I would say 8 out of 10, 4 out of 5 times that's gonna work out for you. So good job by Cho here. So same thing I was talking about before. Cho is creeping on Tesla's distance because Cho's job is to close the distance and follow up. So the closer he can get to the starting line of when he has to blitz against a Tesla, the better for him. So this match he started out creeping toward him. When you feel like he's gotten close enough, uh, tries to take something off the line. Ooh, wow! No score from a Tesla there. I would have. How did this happen? Really? Maybe it was all arm or something. We just can't tell from this angle. Good. So Tesla's adjustment now also is he knows Cho's trying to blitz, and so I think in the coaching chair there the breakdown was when he blitzes, be prepared to absorb the impact and fall up on your own, instead of you being defensive and then Cho's gonna push you around in the clinch because you're being defensive. The, the adjustment by Turkey seems to be when Cho blitzes, absorb the impact from the blitz and fire. Cho also being good on side is able to maximize his point by kicking as well. Unfortunate for Turkey, that was I would say a good adjustment, like good decision. Unfortunate that that happened. So Turkey may or may not attempt that a second time, but that the blitz in by Cho is scouted by Turkey for sure. That's right. So even in this instance, I would say even a successful bait. He knows Chose wants to crash in, so he goes in to give the illusion that it's going to be easy for him to crash, and his counter isn't an in-place counter. It's a really deep fadeaway counter because he knows Chose is trying to close the distance. It's not just arbitrary. Well, he's coming. Like let's jump back super far. This is I know you're coming. Let's get you to come toward me faster. So, or let's get you to come towards me while I give you the illusion of being close, but in reality, I'm going to jump back really far away, so you have to cover that distance as I kick you. So really good trap here by ATESLI. Working off the information, they know Cho has to close. Like they know Cho has to close, so he's going to creep into distance, give the illusion he's closer, but in actuality jump far and counter. Yeah, right there. Like even the first initial move back was to gain distance too, and then he countered. Cho able to read it kind of as a trap and stops himself because he also knows to not over pursue ATESLI. Very nice follow up though. Almost got Cho right there. The exact same small tactic I was talking about earlier. Creep into distance. Sometimes this half an inch, guys. Sometimes this is the difference between hitting the edge of the hogu and missing. So Cho needs to secure that. And even if he's going to close after, the closer he is to ATESLI when he starts, the better for him. Like the less distance you have to cover, the less time your opponent has to kick or counter. Dude, ATESLI's head kick is that left leg to the head is crazy. So once again, ATESLI's in this stance here. We don't really know what weapons he has here besides this left leg back kick. So it poses almost out. If I were Cho right now, it's a very um, it's a kind of an almost it's like a dangerous situation. I like to fight open stance, and so I would switch and then cancel on the front leg again, knowing that this may come out, so it saves me from that also. But I'm also not Cho. I'm also not as experienced as either of these guys, so um, we'll see what Cho does. Interesting. Um, well, I think Cho probably assumed that he's going to attempt the front leg. ATESLI, hardcore left leg kicker, doesn't use the front leg. Most people in the game, 80% of fighters, 80-90% are going to use his front leg. Cho, recognizing that, has a spin kick on this side, isn't afraid to use it. He was betting on the 80%. This guy's one of the 80% that uses the front leg, so not really a bad decision by him. Um, and ATESLI is just a left leg monster. That seemed really painful. See, also notice that Cho knows the left leg back kicks here, so none of his attacks are follow up right now. It's all just trying to sneak in the point and get away because he doesn't want to commit too hard, knowing ATESLI has his back kick sitting. So both attacks here, short. Second one's going to be short again. Obviously, it's just because I watched it, but the reason I'm saying the reason it's short is because he knows ATESLI has that left leg back kick. He's not attacking short for for just because it's like, well, that seems like a good idea now. He's doing that because he knows the information. ATESLI has that left leg back kick. So now he's opening up the game a little bit. Um, I mean, the advantage if he can fight from both stances is great. Fight from both stances, just like ATESLI is doing now, because when he switches stances, Muhammad Cho doesn't have information on that stance. So it does. It's a way to screw up your opponent. Um, yeah, especially if what's it called? Especially if you've been fighting one leg the whole time, one stance the whole time. But now he's back in the normal stance. Cho back to the original game plan. Oh, did that hit him? And it just didn't score? I want to see. Oh, very close. Looked like his toe might have got him. And the Tesla's starting to use his front leg. Or the right leg, not front leg, right leg. Wow. Left leg and back. Cho went for the punch. ATESLI with that crazy back kick, dude. So, okay, I won't comment, but knowing that that leg's in back, actually no, because he switches stance here again, so never mind. Negate I even said anything. Good, Cho's trying to punch or trying to score on the inside like before. Gumjong for kicking after Kalyo. What happened there? Okay, I also like that Cho's keeping the offensive pressure even though he's down. He does not want ATESLI to be comfortable mounting an offensive against him right now. I'm not sure what's. I'm also not sure why Cho doesn't go back to the cancel the front leg game and then follow up in the clinch. I'm not sure why that's still not the game, or why he hasn't went back to that game plan. And maybe because since the Teslas showed this new style, the coaches are trying to adjust to, or the new style, the new stance, and some new weapons. The coaches are very preoccupied with that stance. Um, Sometimes it is important to do that. I agree that you do need to handle the new weapons, but especially if you go back to what they adjusted before against the person's instincts, a lot of times that'll still work because the person's instincts are their instincts, and so countering against that is usually still always viable. Oh, okay, never. I'm getting fooled both sides here. So the reason for not doing that is because he's trying to bait the head kick. He's giving the illusion that after he kicks, he's going to retreat, which is kind of sometimes what people do when they're ahead is like, well, dude, I'm just going to poke at you a little bit and I'm actually going this way. This is just to hold you in place here so we can run out the clock and I can win. Cho's working off that information, that like time, that factor of time, and he's trying to bait ATESLI into thinking he's going backwards the whole time. So that way, when ATESLI commits, he can try for those headshots. So that fooled even me. That's why he's not committing. Yeah, he's kind of leaving it there. He's waiting for ATESLI to commit so he can do one of those head kicks. Low head kick or a low kick. Tesla's kind of tired. Nice try. If a Tesla had, this is one of the ones I think a Tesla didn't move back that far, but had he moved back, Muhammad what Cho was trying to do the body head. A Tesla stood there, so obviously didn't work. But interesting decision. Getting information from the coach to do something. Oh, there. Okay, so he does go back to the original game plan, especially on the new information by a Tesla to handle something or to pressure. Usually, most people will go back to their initial instincts. Um, Knowing that information, Cho was like, okay, well, your initial instinct's this, and we had a game plan for that, which was cancel and then follow up with your back leg. Seeing that that had just happened, Cho gladly cancels and goes for the back leg because, dude, if you're supposed to just press me, you're probably going to use your main weapons. This negated your main weapon, so let's use that. Nice try on the follow up. Oh, that's what I was talking about. This is the man that a Tesla left leg back kick, dude. Boom. That's in back. That thing's ready to go at any time, man. And the Gumjang for out of bounds? What? Where? Oh yeah, a little small point out of bounds. Wow. Yeah, holy cow. Okay. 3 points, 4 points in the game. Okay, so the decision was Cho gets a Gumjang for half a foot out. Um, Atesli keeps his 4 points, even though it happened after Cho stepped out of bounds. So now Cho has 8 seconds to get 3 points. Knowing that he has to come in, Atesli very wisely. There's a high. Well, we didn't get to the beginning. Never mind. What a risky decision, but also kind of smart. So Atesli knows that if he's caught moving backwards by Cho, he's going to he's most likely going to lose because in most of the situations that just occurred here, where Cho's on the inside and they're scoring it like and Cho has forward momentum, Cho was scoring the points, and so Atesli opts for, well, I know you're gonna press, and so I can just kick you where you are now, and the chances of you sliding back are very slim. I can try and score, and it turns out that they're just gonna duke it out here in the middle of the ring, which I am. Tesla did throw some cuts to like hold him back a little bit, but if he needs to brawl, he's not afraid to brawl, and that forces Cho to make in-place decisions and counter. And so the way the dynamic is working like this is Tesla knows he has to come in, and so he's kicking. He has the option to kick in place or move back. Cho is down points and cannot afford to give up points, so he has to make the decision whether to cross under fire or try and guess if Cho's moving back or not. Sorry, Cho has to guess if a Tesla's gonna move back or not, in which case he needs to cover the distance. If he's covering the distance and a Tesla fires, then it just puts it puts more difficulty against Cho to score points because he's giving up opportunities to be scored on. So this option to brawl is um, is almost like very new to me as well, but it's not really. I would not even consider this too much of a bad decision. It is risky given that it's Cho, and I know Cho has inside doubles and has this monster right leg, so I may have played it differently, but ATESLI holds it. But all in all, in the whole scope of the match, I want you guys to take home that Cho was dictating the match. He dictated when things would take place. He would initiate combat. He would trap against ATESLI. It's just unfortunate that in this last exchange, even though he was leading the whole match, he overcommitted one time, and one of ATESLI's main weapon, which is left leg back kick, snuck in and secured him the match. So very good fight by both sides. A lot of interesting decision making going on, and I would even say a lot of good pioneering by ATESLI to show that left leg back, putting your left leg back and swinging to a back kick is a viable option. Also, a lot of good leg control by ATESLI, being able to recover after a swing, after someone swings your foot out, and being able to cut kick after that. Like holy cow, man. And Cho is been on top, been one of the top guys for a long time, knows the game, knows his weapons, knows how to get around the main weapon of ATESLI, which was this, and he did a good job of that. He's just unfortunate that in the last waning seconds of the match, he didn't account for the left leg back kick in one attack, and that cost him the whole match. Should he scrap his whole game and start over because he lost this match? No. Should ATESLI say, well, I had a good game plan, which was to let the other guy initiate or dictate how when the match would start? Also a no. I mean, ATESLI, I think, in terms of overall strategy and how to pressure, could have, the areas for improvement, especially because he's not the one dictating the match. And for Cho, really good job overall strategy throughout the match. It's just that one small falter at the end led to his demise. But yeah, that's the fight for this week, guys. I hope you guys learned something in terms of the strategy, things you can do in the match, are viable for you, or at least even more showings of how to cancel the front leg and where to follow up, and just reiterating, stay where you're strong. If you can know how to negate the opponent's front leg or main weapon, then take that away from them and then follow up where you're strong. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and see you guys next time.